level up, level up, level up, level up, level up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, now. Level up, 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 level up. All this on me so yummy, all this sauce so yummy. Know you want this yummy, yummy all in your tummy. Level up, 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 level up. All this on me so yummy, all this sauce so yummy. Know you want this yummy, yummy all in your tummy. Them mistakes are
We are in 2022. Are we in 2022?
We sure are.
Welcome.
Already a month almost into 2022,
Can
as
you
a matter of
believe
fact.
it? Can you believe it? Can you believe it? Well, welcome to Take Center Stage and Own It, TCS Consultant. I am here with CEO of R. Hughes and Associate, Robin Hughes, and I am so excited to be here today. As you can see it in my voice, and I can't believe we are about to end. We got what, one more week?
One more week.
And this year, woo, and we're
ready to go already.
This is like, so, Own It is focused on mindset. We are focused on mindset because it's what's going on in here is going to govern how you make it through your year. And so in this forum, in this environment here with Robin and I, we are focusing on organizational and leadership development. So we want to get into the mind of leaders. If you are someone who works, you're corporate and you're working in a position, maybe you want to level up, you want to become a leader, supervisor, managing other people, or you are currently a leader of people. The new currency is today, they're talking about in organizations today, is about leader member exchange. How are you making connectivity with your people? New mindset gets you new results. When you learn the value of your people, you will learn the importance of investing in your people and developing them up. So as they level up, hey, Reyes, as they level up, you level up as a leader. And so we're talking about all things mindset. I shared today a visual from QASPIRE Consulting. The organizations to be truly effective leadership cannot be confined to the top boxes of the organizational chart. When leadership is not a role, but a behavior that people practice across the organization, then organizations are better placed to navigate the complexities surrounding us. And it's so important for us to understand that we are role models. There are certain behaviors as being in a position of leadership that can cause our people to either tap into their unlimited potential and really, really serve us well, or it can cause them to shrink back and lack in their performance. What's your position on this, Robin? How do you think about leadership mindset and being conscious to the fact that it's their behavior, their connectivity to their subordinates and those people that they work with, and the results that they get?
Well, as we always say, the main thing, they have to have self-awareness. They have to know themselves. And they also have to be adaptable. It's not, as I always say, it's not cookie cutter. You cannot approach all of your employees in the same manner because guess what? Everybody learns differently. Some people are visual, some people are hands-on. So you have to be able to adapt and adjust your leadership skills to be able to bring everyone into the fold. And like you said, if you're not willing to have that open mind, it is not going to work. You have to have the open mind. You have to be innovative. You have to be willing to learn, which means, again, you bring your employees into the fold. Because again, I mentioned before when we were on last week, when you don't deal or want to talk to your people that are in the trenches and you're trying to put stuff together and create programs and policies and other things, you don't know what's going on in their world. Because guess what? You're not sitting in that same spot where they're at. You're not in the field with them. So you have to ask for their input and be open to doing that. It's nothing wrong with it. Get feedback. Get your focus groups. Let them give you input from every department that you need it from. Because guess what? I can guarantee you every time I've done that, I've been able to reap the benefits of those results because we avoided some pitfalls we would have had otherwise.
Right.
So I always say include everyone. Everyone should be included. We always talk about diversity, equity, and inclusion. We have to include everybody. Doesn't matter, nationality, ethnicity, it does not matter. You want to get that mindset from everyone because, again, different cultures think differently.
They
And
do.
yeah.
They do think differently, and you have to value the diversity. Diversity is key. Diversity is gold in actuality, because when you allow others in your circle to maximize their creativity, operating their gifting. Hey, Webb, so glad you joined us. Hopefully you got your printed copies of your cover of the Own It magazine. Can't wait for you to come and join us again soon. You need to be here with me and Robin some Fridays.
Yes, you do.
And so connectivity is so critical today, because people are operating at a very, very awesome. He got his copies. So
Great.
people are operating at a very high level of emotions. I was speaking to a very good friend yesterday in regards to this matter, tapping into emotions and connecting. People have different value systems. So you were sharing earlier in regards to how you need to make sure that you're connecting with your people, and you can't manage all your people the same. One way is not, it's just like parenting. One way is not the right way for all your children. So the same way with your subordinates or your under people, the people that you're managing. They have different values. Some of them want time off. Some of them need time off because they need to handle their parents or their children, or they just need a break from the office. Some people want money. Money is what's their value system. They need to have increase, so they want a bonus. So each person has their own value system, and the way that you tap into their level of commitment, their level of drive and groupthink is to tap into what is important for them. And how you do that is your connectivity. How are you relating to them? So I want to go back to today's resource, and the gentleman that wrote this is TANMAY VORA, and I shared the link with you so you can read the article in its entirety. He says, aligning people, managers, leaders at all levels to a collective mindset of leadership. This happens through an ongoing conversation on leadership in a community experience, sharing, valuing leadership behaviors, and enabling people through one-to-one coaching on the job. See, with Own It, I've taken that very model. I have one-to-one coaching. I have a day dedicated that my contributing writers can have a one-on-one session with me, because people value your time. They need that development. And if you're not making yourself available to them for development, you're actually limiting your own impact on them and your own level of fusing the relationship. There's another part that I wanted to actually add to this, and I just want to make sure that I'm getting to it. There's a part in the article, I'm not seeing it quickly, but there's a part in the, when you create this atmosphere, when you create this inclusion, when you bring in your people to the table to offer their ideas or suggestions, they're quicker to participate and give you their ideas, give you their suggestions, and you can weigh out. You can weigh out, is this a beneficial or is this something that we could use later? But then you have you're not limited to one person's ideas. You have you have a wide range of ideas and choices to choose by to improve the result. Am I right or am I wrong?
That is correct. Again, it needs to be inclusive. You need to take everyone's skills into consideration. Again, you might be great in one area, and guess what? You might, in a place where you're weaker, you might have someone on your team, and that's their strength. That's what motivates them. That's what they're passionate about. Guess what? If you delegate that to them, guess how much more you can accomplish? Put you on the road to success.
And it also clears up your plate. It helps you when people are independent of leadership. I can say, when you have a team that knows that first of all, high performance teams are high performers and high achievers and so successful because they know they have group think. They all understand the high value of the outcome. What are the results? They understand the importance of this. So their commitment level is very high, right? Their commitment, but then it's a two-way street. So the commitment level of the team is high for the leader, and the commitment level of the leader is high to the team, right? So once those two come together, they want the results. They want to see high impact. They want to see the results. And that is the fuel to the fire, right? Because everyone gets excited because they see their success. The leader is successful. The team is successful. So the leader has to be willing to sacrifice, take the time and develop their people, because as you develop your people, the more and more independent they become, the more and more you unleash their unlimited potential, the more and more they walk in that potential, and they're able to give you the freedom and autonomy, the break that you need as a leader to now negotiate at a higher level, to make things happen at a higher level, because you're not bogged down with responsibilities that should be delegated or given over to your subordinates, the people that are working on part of your team. That's so critical. And I think when leaders understand that their subordinates or their team, as they're rising up, is not a threat to them, but an asset. It's not a threat. They're an asset when they can perform well for you. It makes you look good. And you're not supposed to keep the people forever. You're supposed to develop, cultivate them, and release them so that they can continue to grow. They can continue to, and I tell you what, if you treat them right, they may not ever want to leave you.
That is so right. That is correct. Because if you train them, you want to train them to reach their full potential. I know one of my contributing writers posted on LinkedIn yesterday, and she was asking people, what drives you? What drives you? And I always say helping people to reach their full potential, personally and professionally, because it's a whole package. You know, I always say it's the entire package, mind, body. So you have to make sure you're taking care of all of it. Just the way you take care of your business, you have to take care of self.
Yeah.
If you need to, you know, everybody should have a coach. Everybody should really have a therapist. Everybody should make sure they take that me time and go and get spa treatments and other things and take that time away when they need to. You have to do that to make sure, because if you're not on your A game, guess what? You're doing a disservice to yourself and to your clients and or customers and your employees.
Yeah. And we talk about leadership, and there's a couple of things that I want to say. Okay, so I know for me, I'm always stirring people up to do stuff. I'm not trying, like, I am trying to do that, but I'm not trying to, I'm not trying to do it. You know what I mean? Like, I want people to get excited. So one of my contributing writers, she got so excited. She's over in Nigeria. She got so excited, and she was just like, at 5 o'clock in the morning, I'm getting this messaging, and I'm like, what did I say I was going to, what is she talking about? She's talking about going live, and, she's talking about all the people that she's collecting who's agreed to go live. And I'm saying to myself, what, did I miss something? And, but guess what? My plate was so full yesterday. Thursdays are the most extremely busy days for me, because those are the one-on-one sessions that I have with my contributing writers. And I'm packed. When I say to you, from 11 o'clock to, I think the last session was like, I didn't finish talking to folks yesterday until I think 7:30, 8 o'clock last night. And of course, the first thing I want to do is say, no, I can't do that. We got a plan. No, she was so excited about going live. She had blocked out the time. Thank God. Thank God she had on my schedule. She had blocked out the hour. So she had the time on my schedule. It was supposed to be a one-on-one with me and her. She had the time in the schedule. So I just honored it. And I just said, okay, well, let me set up the StreamYard. Let me go behind the scenes and put it together. She was having technical difficulty. And the beautiful thing about when you pour it into other people, the beautiful thing is these women came along, even though we were getting these messages at 5 a.m., they showed up for her. They showed up. They got online with us and they showed up. And that's a high performance team, because groupthink is there where we're all saying we got to support her because we understand the impact of the results. We understand the importance of supporting one another and coming up again under the common vision, right? It was her vision, and we wanted to make sure her vision happened for her, and it was. She got on. She was so excited. You cannot kill that in your people. When people are excited and do not kill them with regulation. Figure out a way that you can navigate, figure out how you can, do what you got to do, but not kill the fire, right? You don't want to extinguish the fire in your people. You want to keep that fire flaming, because if you keep it flaming, it's going to perform. It's going to keep you guys hot off the presses. It's going to keep you going. And it's going to encourage your people to want to show up for you, to want to support you, because they saw how you supported them, that you didn't squish their fire. So that requires you to be have some level of EI, emotional intelligence, and it requires you to have empathy and connectivity to the fact that you would know emotionally that if you squash that, you would know exactly the long-term impact it would have on your results as a leader. You would understand that. And then you would also, more importantly, understand how it would kill their momentum. It would kill and destroy their esteem. And you don't want to do that. You want to be very, very careful as a leader to make sure that you are as much as you possibly can, and what's within your authority is to always support and make sure you value your people's input and their own personal goals. I just think that that's so important, because that's the new value system. If you are not valuing people, people are not staying with you. Today's employees don't care about it. They care about how they feel with you. If they ain't feeling it, they ain't feeling coming in. And we already know that, because people, they're looking at people not coming in from COVID, using COVID as an excuse for not showing up to work. They're using the fear of COVID. Some of it's real, and some of, we got people who ain't real. Everybody ain't telling the truth. They got some people who are using it, but the real deal is they don't show up because they don't feel valued.
You have to know your audience. Yeah, you have to know your audience, and you have to know your employees. That's so important. Take the time to get to know your people. And that's your customers and your clients as well. Get to know them, know what they like, know what they dislike, know what motivates them. Because if you keep them motivated, guess what? Just like Marissa was saying, you have to do that in order to keep them going. That will keep them driving for, to make things happen. And that's what you want. You want to make it happen. And it has to be just as important for them as it is for you.
Yeah. And yet the way that you know what's important to people is how much you don't have to be overly personal with them, but you got to get personal. But let's not cross too many boundaries where we're just getting overly personal. You have to be professional too. So there's a way that you can be professional, keep your boundaries intact, because I think that sometimes we get a little too open and comfortable with folks, and it's inappropriate. So we have to have a balance of what is appropriate, but you have to connect with your people, and that means you have to be personal. You need to know if they're sick. If their children are sick, you need to know that their children are sick and mention that. Have a different, this is all about different mindset. You want different results this year. You want increased results this year. You're going to have to think in a different way. You're going to have to think in a new way. And like Robin said at the top of this conversation, you're going to have to be open-minded, adaptable, flexible, lose the attitude, stop being mad. You can't change it. So what you can do is adjust to it, and then figure it out. But keeping the right attitude and mindset and being open-minded and flexible will help you to navigate through this a lot better without being as stressful. You don't want to be stressed out. You want to be able to navigate through this thing, and you just want to know your results. So another thing we talked about over the past couple of weeks was the SWOT analysis. Do a SWOT analysis. Check out where your strengths are, your weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Are you a little tired at the top of this year? Because last year was stressful. We're still in a pandemic, and this is going on year 3, right? We're getting ready to go into 3 years of this, and it can be highly stressful. But if you're more open-minded, and if you tap into your people, if you're holding a leadership position, if you tap into your people a little bit more, you can alleviate some of that stress. And it starts from caring about them. It starts from caring about them, coming from a place of empathy.
Last week, we gave them a challenge with the personal SWOT analysis. Did anybody in the audience end up doing their personal SWOT analysis? Would love to know.
Yeah, I would love to know.
If you did, make sure you put it in the comments and let us know that you actually got a chance to do that. Even your one for your business, because you always need to do a personal SWOT analysis and your business SWOT analysis. Make sure in addition to that, because you have to be self-aware. You need to know yourself. You also have to invest in yourself. I always say, if you're unwilling to invest in yourself, why would someone else be willing to invest in you? So make sure you're doing that being self-aware. Make sure you're doing self-development. Look and see what kind of courses you might need to take. You don't have to go back to school or anything, but there are all kinds of classes and certificates and other things that are out there. If you have your coach, talk to your coach about that, because your coach will hold you accountable and help you to develop those skills. I know we do it all the time. So it's just a matter of, if this is a place that you want to improve, an area you want to improve upon, let your coach know. And that's what you want to do. And even if they can't do it, I'm sure there's someone just like we always say, there is someone always in the Own It publishing family that can. We have everybody that do everything. So don't stay silent. If you stay silent, we won't know about it. You have to let us know. That's the only way you can reach your full potential. And that's the way you get your people to reach their full potential as well.
I'm just putting it in here to do your SWOT analysis.
Yeah, definitely. You have to know strengths, weaknesses, your opportunities, and your threats. Know what they all are so you can improve. If there's anything you can go in and change, if you know there are some changes. And once you keep in mind, whenever you do your SWOT analysis, whenever you're looking at policies and procedures or processes, anything you put in place, keep in mind it is not etched in stone. You can go back and tweak it. That's what you're supposed to do. If something is not working, guess what? You need to reroute. Take a different route and make sure you reach that potential that you need to reach. Because other than that, you will not be able to perform the way you want to. You can't show up for people. And that's always important. Whenever you put something on your agenda, you make sure you want to show. I always say show up and show out, because you want to make sure that you're shining, and you want to make sure that your people are shining as well. Because remember, it's not all about you. It's about your team. It's about everybody. It's about your customers, your employees. If you're working for a company, it's about your employer. One of the attitudes I always had when I was working for an employer, I would always say, my goal is to try to help you to become an employer of choice. Even with entrepreneurs, it's still the same thing. You want to bring people on your team that you develop that don't want to leave you. Now, you don't hold them back. If they have an opportunity to grow and be successful and go somewhere else, you don't hold them back. You actually cherish that you were able to be a part of that and allow yourself to be used to help them grow. So always keep that in mind. I had an employee that I brought in that very new to HR. I'll never forget. And the rest of the team didn't want to hire her. I hired her anyway, brought her in. She was able to manage my onboarding. When my payroll person left, guess what? She stepped in and took over payroll and had never processed payroll ever.
Mm.
And she was able to do both. We both ended up getting nominated for awards because of what we had done in the HR department, which had never happened for this particular company. And I remember when she got ready to relocate and she came to talk to me. And she ended up thinking I was going to be angry with her. And I said, no. I said, I am just, I said, I am thankful that you trusted me to help develop you. And now you're able to go out there and use those skills. I said, I would never hold you back. I said, now I could be selfish and say, oh, no, don't go, don't relocate. I said, but that's not me. I said, it's just like that. Keep in mind, it's just like the mama bird, I guess. And she has to push her young one out of the nest. You don't really want to so they can fly, but you have to be able to let them go. Develop your people to their fullest potential. Let them go out there. Guess what? People talk about it all the time. People remember that. I have people come back to me and talk about that all the time and are willing to come back and work with you again.
Wow.
This young lady is actually she left and went to California for some years. Guess what? She came back and she's now one of my contributing writers.
Wow. Oh, that's nice. That's nice. That is so nice. And that's how it should be. That should be, it's a blessing that she came back around to you, but you should be in a position where people who are part of your team, they're part of your team for a reason and a season, not necessarily. Some of them will stay. It just depends on their connection and what their own personal goals are.
Right.
But others will come and go. And you have to be prepared for that. I don't have the same contributing writers this year that I had at the beginning of last year. They're different because people's values and their commitment level, not first to themselves, because we know as coaches, that we are committed to our clients, but our clients have to be committed to themselves too. So people are going to come and they're going to go. They're going to have their own agenda, but you have to be okay with that. You have to know that as a leader, that's par for the course. And people are going to come and they're going to go. But the people that really stay are committed to your vision, and they value the fact that you're committed to their own personal vision. And so, Robin, we're at the end of of our half hour, and so we're going to bring it to the close. Any kind of closing comments? I was trying to find you guys while Robin was chatting with you, trying to find you a resource for SWOT analysis. I found one, but I don't think the chat liked the link. So I'm going to work on that and give you guys a link that you could do a personal, not corporate or business SWOT analysis, but a personal SWOT analysis. That SWOT analysis is really focused on your thinking right now, how you're thinking right now, how you're seeing things, and help you to, look at areas where you know yourself. That's the importance what Robbins was saying about self-aware. No, you know yourself where you're not coming up right. You know when you're not behaving right. You know where you're not making the right decisions. No one has to tell you. You've grown. So the SWOT analysis is designed for you to have a real conversation with yourself on areas that you need to, that are your strong points, because you have very, very good strong points. You wouldn't be a leader right now if you didn't have them. And then it'll also show you where you're kind of little, you need some developing. You need a little shift in your attitude, shift in your mindset, thinking how you see things, and being cooperative and hearing feedback from folks where you need to be a little bit more open-minded. You also want to begin to look at threats. Anywhere these weak areas that you have are turning into, they're threatening your success, they're threatening your results. You want to actually turn those threats into opportunities. And one of those ways Robin was saying was develop yourself. You have to do the self-development that's required to turn those threats into opportunities. Threats also could be how you're seeing them in your mind. You could be seeing something that could be an opportunity as a threat because you're not thinking with the right perspective. So you want to shift that perspective, take it from negative, doubting, and unflexible, make it flexible, see it from a positive perspective that you can get it done. That changes it from a threat and makes it now what? An opportunity
Mhm.
for growth, an opportunity for expansion, an opportunity for diversity, an opportunity for a new way of doing things. So we're super excited. Robin, did you have anything? That was my closing thoughts.
And basically, that was the same thing I was thinking about, the self-awareness. Make sure you do that personal SWOT analysis. Get started on that if you have not already completed it, because guess what? That is going to help you turn things around. Make sure you invest in yourself and invest in your employees. Know your audience. If you don't have a good relationship, and not saying again that you have to go overboard or cross that boundary that you shouldn't cross, but get to know your people, get to know your employees, get to know your clients. It shouldn't just be all about work. It should. I love to have fun. I'm like, I don't care how stressful the job is. Just like Marissa, she always makes us come in dancing. She's going to make sure we have fun. She's going to make sure of that. And I love it because what it does is it keeps you motivated. It gets the blood flowing, gets the juices flowing. It makes you even start thinking more, because what do? You go in, how do you respond? We're all pumped up and ready to go.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
think about those kind of things. Make sure, again, like I said, we're going to ask again next week. We would love to know who gets those SWOT analysis done. We would
yeah.
love to know that. So she's going to share the link with you to be able to do your SWOT analysis. If you have a problem getting to it or something, let us know. We will make sure that we get you one so you can actually go in and do that, because that is the beginning of your roadmap.
Yeah, it's the beginning of your roadmap. You want new results. You want different results. This is a different year, so you should have that should be on your to-do list. Increase results. You always want to keep leveling up. You always want, so new mindset, new results. So I'm so excited to have been here with you today. Have an amazing weekend. We are still at the top of the year, the top of the first month. And so you still have time. You still have time to shift and turn it around. If you've been in that dumpy mode, we want you to level up. Have a great weekend. We are
Level
out.
up.
Something might come back on 100. Let's talk it, more action. You just so CC coming. I just keep elevating. No.